Alright guys, I want to really thank a YouTuber that is on my channel, the original Sprout. He's been giving me some things to check and something slipped my mind. I remember the next day I was going to drive the car around the block, and I had hooked up the vacuum module on the transmission. That's when all the smoking started. So what was happening was, as original Sprout said, it was sucking transmission fluid out of the vacuum module on the transmission into the carburetor. And I took this hose off. I got it bypassed now. I took it off and I blew it out, and transmission fluid got all in my hand. It might be still some in there. I had almost a handful of transmission fluid. Let's see, can we see it here? You can see it's kind of wet. I kind of blew it out. Well, there you go. That is transmission fluid, folks. So I had forgot that those vacuum diaphragms on the module will erupt, and they will make transmission fluid bypass and suck into the carburetor. And so that's exactly what it is. It was sucking raw transmission fluid through the intake into the carburetor. So I bypassed it, and I cranked it up, and the smoke was starting to clear. I'm going to change the oil in it anyway. I haven't done it yet. Let's see, can we get this hose back on? And I ran it for a few minutes, and it was starting to clear up the smoke. So I want to really thank the original Sprout for that suggestion, because I knew it had to be something, but I had already ruled out engine, but I really didn't want to have to pull this thing back out. But as you can see, the smoke is starting to clear up really well now, because it's burning that transmission fluid out. Because before, you couldn't even see the shop. So it is about clear. It's burnt all the transmission fluid out. There's no smoke. So I'm going to get a new transmission module, and let me cut this thing off. I'm going to go ahead and get a new transmission module, stick that in there. I'm wondering if where I got the module plugged into, is that putting out too much vacuum that could make that diaphragm rupture? So as I'm looking here, I had it hooked to the back of the carburetor, which I think this is a strong vacuum, because it's right here where the vacuum booster goes for your brake. So I'm wondering if that's putting out too much vacuum. Maybe I need to run it around and hook it to the front of the carburetor where there's less vacuum pull. So that's something else I'm gonna check into. But yeah, so I really want to thank that YouTube subscriber for giving me that suggestion. He's been giving me quite a few, and I've been going along and checking them today. And we'll get this thing about ready to be buttoned up and ship it on home. So I get that old module out. I'll show it to you guys. Maybe we should be able to see what the fluid was up inside of the hose and coming up out of the spout of the module. So anyway, just stay posted. So I went down and picked up a brand new modulator for the transmission. This is a Pioneer brand, 747001. Got this from O'Reilly's, and it's a lot smaller than the original one. See it here? It's got the little adjustment flathead screw in the middle where you can adjust vacuum going to it for shifting. It comes with this little hose in the box, little vacuum line, and like I said, the original one, if I can get up under here, it's way bigger. It's way bigger than the newer type. Of course, this is old, so that thing can store up a lot of transmission fluid if it's bad. You can see where it has blew all that oil and stuff. So I'm gonna change the oil in it because it was just blowing it out the engine. Luckily I caught it before it could damage a cylinder or wash down a piston ring. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and swap this thing out and get it in, and I'm gonna change the oil anyway, and then we'll run it again and hook up a different vacuum source to it. I think it's supposed to hook to the front of the carburetor. So but yeah, let me get that hooked up and we'll go from there. So here is the old giant size original modular for the transmission, and let's just see what comes out of it. I haven't dumped it over or dumped it out. I took it off, just kind of laid it there. I got a towel right here. You'll see, lay it on this towel, and let's see what we got. Just look at that. Now that's actually where the vacuum line goes. Just look at the transmission fluid coming out of it. This thing is just full of transmission fluid. So it was just constantly sucking it up into the engine. So that sucker's no good. It has a diaphragm in there that's dry rotted. It's bad. So that's probably what hurt the other engine. It was sucking up all that transmission fluid and messed the rings. I did do a compression test on it, and a couple cylinders wouldn't prime up on the hole. But there's a new module with the new vacuum line. So we are hooked up and in business with that. So I'm going to move along and change the oil and get that part done, and yeah, so we got some progress made. So after that, got a few more things to do to it and get the hood on it, and it'll be ready to go to the muffler shop as planned, and then we're going to move on to that project back there. So anyway, let's keep it going, and if I don't find anything else interesting to show you guys, you know that it's a done deal. Alright.